Hey everyone, and welcome to IG8Live Esports. We're live right now with PGL F1 Sunday Division for round 13 of 23 for the French Grand Prix. Getting started with our full qualifying session right now. We're in Q1. 18 minutes are already started on the clock, and we got 19 drivers currently in the session. Dan Murphy already taking himself out of it. I think he does have a quali ban from the qualifying session. I did check that earlier on, but I don't remember who had a quali ban and who didn't. So we're going to work with that in just a bit. Let's see what's happening on track. There's a few information up for you guys, and you can have a look at what's happening. So everyone's going to be on the soft tires running through this session here, so we don't need to be worried about that too much. Let's see how the lap times are going to look and what grid is going to look like by the end of this session here in terms of how close they're going to be, how competitive they're actually going to get for the end of qualifying, getting over to qualifying too. So 19 drivers in it. Already Dan Murphy out. We got 18 drivers going to compete in this session at least. So we're going to see how that is going to work out for them. So everyone gets starting on their out laps here right now. I'm going to get started on the hot laps pretty soon. So hopefully we'll start to see some very competitive lap times pretty soon in here. And welcome to all of you guys who are joining on the stream here with us. And thank you guys for joining on. Please make sure that you guys do leave a like on the stream for me. I really do appreciate when you guys do that. Does help us a lot. Welcome to everyone currently in the chat there as well. Hello to Neil, we got Ethan, and we got Cody Bridge there in the chat there as well. So welcome on to those guys, and they're currently on driving here as well. So hopefully some good lap times coming out of this session. We'll see how that's going to work out. Everyone's still on their out taps. We're going to start to see some hot taps starting here very soon, as we do have Codfish there in the sector 3 portion of the track already. So I'm going to get started on that lap pretty soon. I think we have most of our regular drivers on the grid. Might have a few new names, maybe one or two. We'll see how that's going to work out by the end of the session. We'll see how they perform here as well on the Sunday division with the rest of the guys, because quite a competitive grid it is on every Sunday that we do have the races here, and quite an interesting race that we do have as well. We got Codfish about to get started on his hot lap here right now. Let's see how that's going to go for the Ferrari driver. We're going to stay on board with him as he gets on through this lap, using as much of the track as we can here, using a bit of the curb, getting through turn 1 and 2. I think that's going to be the most interesting point of the race as well, getting through that opening lap on sector 1 to see how well these guys are going to get on through, and how much contact we're going to have between cars, because definitely the braking zone that we have there is going to cause a bit of maybe a few incidents. We're going to see how bad it's going to be by the time we get to that point. This is going to be close to an hour before we do get anywhere near the race start as well, but we do have to get through the qualifying, so let's get on through with that. I think that's Neil on the side of the track. They're just allowing Codfish to get by. Seems to be doing pretty well on this lap so far. Of course, everything's going to be in the purple because no one else has set a lap time so far as yet. But let's see what the lap times are going to start to look like as we get on through this session. So far looking pretty good with the grid as we have it there. Quite an interesting grid. Majority of the names we are familiar with from every Sunday that we do the streams here. Alright, so he's getting through the final few turns right now, about to finish up this lap. I'm going to see where the rest of the grid will come through with that. We got Vans Racing already doing a 1:31.9. So let's see where Codfish is going to go as he's about to get across the line here right now. I'm not sure who's coming behind him, but we're going to have a look at that in just a bit. So let's see, he goes across the line here right now, and let's see how fast he goes. Does a 1:34. So a 1:30.4. Pretty much a lot faster actually on Vans Racing it. So a very impressive time so far. Let's see who else is currently on the lap. We got Red Devil and Leclerc down the back here on laps. Oh, and Leclerc has invalidated his lap, unfortunately. So let's go on to Red Devil. Where is he on track? In sector 1 running right now. I think Atronak just got started with a lap as well, or is he already on that lap? I think Atronak might be already on that lap. Clocky there, we're going to be seeing where he's going to be going when he does get out on track here. So yeah, Atronak is on a lap here right now. Let's see where he goes as he finishes off this lap. Ethan on a hot lap there as well. So going to be very interesting as we're going to have most of the times coming by the time we get down to about 10 minutes left in the session. Should have quite a few lap times in by that point there. Let's see how well these guys are going to perform here. So Atronak about to go across the line here right now. Let's see where he goes on the grid. And he gets a 130.5, a 10 slower than Codfish. Not too bad with the lap time. That's pretty impressive so far. And let's see who's going to be next to get across the line. I'm not sure who's going to be that as yet. But let's get on down here. Where is Ethan on track right now? Running there in Sector 2. I know he's going to be finishing off that lap pretty soon. We do have Leclerc, Red Devil, Neil, and Stooge there on the laps. I think Leclerc didn't value this lap. Might be trying for another lap. We'll see how that's going to go. Braden on a lap there as well. Down to Braden in the Racing Point. Alright, so we're just waiting for Ethan here to finish off this current lap in the Alfa Romeo. Usually some pretty good times for him. He has recently started to drive without a few more assists, so has gotten a bit faster as well over the past 2 races. And let's see, he goes fastest in the session right now, 128.5. Quite an impressive time from Ethan there. And I think that's where around the most competitive lap times are going to be at this point in the session. So quite interesting to see where the rest of the grid is going to go. And someone that just went up there, I think that was Red Devil, 132.011 from him. IG Stuja, 134.5. And who else went in there? I think Leclerc just went to the 130.020. Not too bad of a time. So getting faster and faster on in this session as we go on through. We got Neil here on Sector 2 running here right now. Vintage running a lap as well. Let's see where the rest of the grid is going to go, because we're starting to get some very competitive and very interesting lap times coming off in this session here. 11.5 minutes, just under 11.5 minutes left for qualifying 1. Still a lot of time left. Fastest time in the session so far goes to Ethan, 128.5. Atronac now with a 128.9 there in second. Leclerc down to third at 130.020. Codfish now fourth at 130.4. Vans Racing fifth at 131.1. Red Devil sixth at 132. And IG Stooge at 134 there in seventh. Scooby on an outlap. Nick on an outlap. Maddie there on an outlap, so is Mr. Rage and Clarky as well. Some of the faster guys in the league here. Let's see where they're all going to go at the end of this qualifying session. We got Neil about to get across the line here. Where will he go on line? And he goes fourth fastest at 130.203. Not a bad time at all right now. We're getting quite faster and faster as these guys start to get out on track. And let's see where Vintage is going to go as he gets his time in. I think, let's see, Banter Braden should be getting a time. I see, I forgot about him. He was on a hot lap, getting across the line in that Racing Point right now. Where does he go on the line? And let's see, Leclerc, his teammate was fourth. Now, no, he was start down to fourth. Now he's taking away third there, Banter Braden, with a 129.160. Very impressive lap from him. Let's go into Clarky here, see where he's on the track, and the Vintage might be finishing a lap very soon. Goes 7 fastest, 130.5. Not too bad of a time, right around where I would be probably if I did a lap time around here at this point. Alright, we got Clarky on a hot lap here right now. Nick just starting his hot lap out there as well. But let's follow on with Clarky in the Renault, running in Sector 2 now. He just did a purple Sector 1, so seems to be on for a pretty good lap. We're doing pretty well in this session so far, I gotta say. Apologies about that there, sir, guys. I had to just check on something for a second. Alright, then we're good again to go. Let's have a look at what's happening. What did I miss? So Clarky went fastest in the session, now putting Ethan down to second. So Clarky stands at 127.9. Get even faster in this session. Quite impressive times coming off of these guys so far. Hey Saint, what's up? Oh, he's Leclerc. Okay, quite interested to know. I'm getting used to these guys with their names as well. All right, so welcome onto the chat. Thank you for joining on. Not a bad time coming on so far. Let's see what else is happening. So Clarky fastest in the section so far, 127.9. Ethan second fastest, 128.5. Atronac third fastest, 128.9. Let's see who else is currently running. Mr. Rage here, where is he on track? Running in sector 1. I want to see what his time is going to be when he does get across the line there. But not bad with the lap time so far, I gotta say. Maddie there up to P5 right now, 129.2. Vintage down 6, 129.9. Leclerc, a first car in the 130. And not too bad with the time. Neil 130.2, Codfish 130.4, Vans Racing 131.1, Red Duff 132.0, Scooby there 132.2, IG Stooge 134.5. We got Beefy into the session. So we got a full grid right now, 20 drivers into the grid. So that's going to be quite interesting to see. Oh yeah, sorry Leclerc, I was off for a second on off the mic there. I had to just take a phone call from work about that, so that's why I was quiet for just about I guess about a minute or so. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we're back on here. So let's see. Oh, what's happening here? Let's see. I think this is a new driver for me, Danilo here. Let's go with Dan. I'll just go with Dan. He's easier to say. And Dan goes 7 fastest, 129.9, 5.1. So he's about 200 of a second slower than Vintage there. And we got quite a change up happening out front. So Mr. Rage now goes into second on the grid with a 128.1. Nick is down to third with that, a 128.4. Ethan down to fourth right now, 128.5. He's still going to get into qualifying too, but still quite impressive what's happening out front. Clarky there though, 127.9, the only guy currently in the 127, so I'm quite impressed with that. Safdar here running 20th on the grid. Just finished a race session with SNS Esports and having him in that session. They're pretty well, they're not too bad. So let's see, and did get driver of the day according to the game on that one. So let's see how he performs in this session here right now. So we still got a few more drivers to get their lap times in. Dan Murphy out of the qualifying session. I think he had a qualifying ban. I really didn't get the chance to have a full look at that as yet to see what was happening with that. But I know there was the bans happening due to previous race results and stewards' decisions and whatnot. So we got Beefy still in the pits. He's going to get out in just a bit. We got just under 6 minutes left in qualifying 1. Mikey on an out lap, Savdar on a lap. Let's see where Savdar finishes at the end of this lap and how fast he's going to go. Clarky back into the pits after his 127.9. Mr. Rage and Nick seems to still be out on track. Ethan back into the pits. Let's see if he's going to get back out on track and try to get a faster time in. I really wouldn't push for it at this point. He's getting over to qualifying too quite easily with that time that he has there. Atronac out to the session, unfortunately, but does have a 128.9. So a pretty impressive time off of him. He's going to get on over into P5. Banter Braden there, 6 so far with a 129.1. Maddie there, 7th at 129.2. Then Vintage at 129.9. Very impressive with the lap time so far, not too bad. And then little Dan there in 9th at a 129.951. That Software going 5th fastest right now, 128.7. And this is getting pretty interesting, I gotta say. Pretty interesting with the lap times that we're seeing here. A lot of 128s, a lot of 129s, and a few 130s. Let's go down to Mikey down in the bottom. I'm going to wait for Beefy to get out on track right to see where he's going to go. And Mikey in the Mercedes has invalidated the lap, unfortunately. He has just under 5 minutes left in the session, though, so he has quite enough time to actually get this done. So let's see how the rest of qualifying 1 is going to go for the next 4.5 minutes that we do have left here right now. Once again, guys, welcome to all of you who are joining on the stream with us. Please, guys, make sure you do leave a like on the stream. I really do appreciate when you guys do that. It does help us out a lot. So please do leave a like. That takes literally just a second for you guys to click like on the video. So I really appreciate if you guys do that for me. And before you do leave the stream, if you are leaving, or just hopefully you guys join us on for the entire session, or maybe you're going to get back on by the time you get on to the race session as well. So in terms of that, qualifying 1 ending off in about 4 minutes. Qualifying 2 will last about 15 minutes. Qualifying 3 will last about 12 minutes. And then we get on to the race session just after that. So usually how it goes. So Mikey here is getting started on another hot lap right now. Let's see how that lap is going to go for him. Okay, so let's see where this lap is going here right now. A purple sector 2 coming off of Mikey on this current lap, so looking pretty good so far. Lap times are pretty impressive, I gotta say, and we're only in qualifying 1. I'm waiting to see what's gonna happen by the time we get over to qualifying 3 with our top 10. We got a full grid of 20 drivers in this. Dan Warfare is off in the session pretty early up, so I'm not sure if that's going to affect how much drivers do go over into qualifying 2. Usually it's supposed to be the top 15 drivers going over, so we're gonna see how that works out. Sometimes it does become the top 40 depending on what happens in the session, but I think it should be the top 15. Let's see how that's going to work. Mikey's about to get across the line here right now. Let's see how fast he's going to go as he gets across. And he goes 9 fastest at 129.282. About 200 a second slower than Maddie there, so not too bad of a time. Very impressive lap times from these guys in the league so far. So, gotta say, I think it's going to be interesting with the race session when we do get on to that point. I think a lot of battles are going to be on to follow on with as well. We're going to see how it works out when we do get to the point. So, let's see how qualifying 1 results are going to look by the time we finish off here right now. We got just about 2 minutes left in the session, so not a lot of time. Beefy on an outlap right now, so we're going to see a lap time for him pretty soon. Still in sector 1, getting to sector 2 right now. So let's have a look at the rest of the grid. Who is running on track right now? I think we do have Neil running an outlap. We got Cody Bridge here. We're going to switch up his name right now. So Mr. Bridge running in 14th round with a 130.4. But let's see what he can do. We got Vans Racing running a lap as well. Who's behind, who's in front? I think Vans Racing is running just in front of him. So let's have a look at him first. Getting across, and let's see if he gets a faster time in that horse. And possibly, because he's down in a bit of a drop zone right now, in 15 there right now. A very dangerous point to be on. Even Codfisher needs to get out of that position and get a faster time and get up maybe into the top 10 to be a bit safer on with the lap times. And we're going to wait until Beefy gets started with his hot lap to have a look on how his lap is going to go. Hopefully you don't spook him out too much, and hopefully he gets a good lap in, because he has just about 1 chance, and that's Van Racing losing the car, so that's his lap done with there. He's not going to be able to get a faster lap in. And this is Codfish laps over here as well, unless he's going to try and do another lap. I'm not sure on those same set of tires, because that's it over here for him there right now. Let's have, I'm not sure if he's going to try and do another lap. Let's have a look here right now, because he's going a bit slow at the moment. We got Beefy just getting started on his hot lap there right now, so let's have a look at him in the Red Bull and see how this lap is going. Looks like he's flying through the track at the moment, so might be on for a pretty good lap and might be able to just push himself over into qualifying 2 at this point with about 40 seconds left in the session. Now getting onto sector 2 here right now. Let's see how this lap time is going to go. It's been pretty interesting so far with our qualifying session. Fastest lap in the session still is held by Clarky there, 127.9. The winning driver into the 127s in this session so far. So let's see what's going to happen by the time qualifying 3. We do expect to see a few more 127s if possible here. That is a purple sector 2 coming off of Beefy this lap there so far. He's finishing off sector 3 in about a few seconds time to go, in about maybe 20 seconds or so, just over 20 seconds. So let's see how the rest of the lap goes for him. Hopefully he's able to get a pretty good time in. Alright, he's getting around the final turn here right now, getting back onto the pit straight. So let's have a look on how this lap is going on for Beefy. The timer is up, qualifying 1 is over, and he's going to get across the line and get the time in, and he goes P7 on the grid, 128.988. Not a bad time for him. Makes it on over into qualifying 2. That of course does push Van Racing down to 16, Codfish into 15. A very dangerous point to be in at this point here. On IG Stooge there probably doing, no, he's back into the pit. So let's see if Codfish does actually get over into qualifying 2 here right now. As we're closing off this session here, we're just waiting for IG Stooge's car to get into the pits there, and that should be it for qualifying 1. Has been quite an interesting session, gotta say, with the lap times that we do have here. So let's see what the rest of qualifying has in store for us in terms of qualifying 2, with the guy focusing most on the race strategy for the upcoming race there, just after all the full qualifying session is over with. Okay, so there we have it. Let's have a look at the results here right now. So Clarky fastest in qualifying 1 at 127.9 for him. Mr. Ray second fastest at 128.1. And Nick there third fastest at 128.4. We got Eaton in fourth, Sofdar fifth, Atronax 6th, Beefy 7, Banter Braden in 8th, Maddie there 9th, Mikey 10th, Vintage 11, Dan 12, Leclerc 13, Neil 14. We got Codfisher 15. That's our top 15 going over to qualifying 2 at this point. Out of qualifying 2 and starting there in 16th is going to be Vans Racing. There Red Devil in 17. Scooby will start 18. IG Suit will start 19. And Dan Murphy will have to start 20th on the grid, as it is there right now. So let's head on over to qualifying 2 right now, where our drivers are going to have to focus on their race strategy in terms of tires, because we're going to see some cars on the medium, some cars on the softs. They're going to have to just start the race in whatever tires they do their fastest laps on here in qualifying 2. Of course, they have to make it over to qualifying 3 and have a dry race start for that to apply. So let's see what's going to happen. Oh, we only have 14 drivers in the session for some reason. Not even sure why that happened. Was that even... I'm not even sure what happened there. Anyway, let's just go on with the session. So let's keep this on best right now and see what the guys are going to be going on through with the session. Are we missing a driver for some reason? I'm not even sure what's happening. I'm just going to ignore that for now. Game does get a bit messed up sometimes. Alright, so let's have a look. 14.5 minutes already down to the session here. Let's see how this qualifying session goes. So we should have drivers getting out on track very, very soon. Or do you think we got a Renault possibly heading out there? I'm not even sure what car that was. It's either Atronac or... And that was Atronac getting out, yep. That was actually not getting out, so let's follow on with him here right now. He's getting out on his outlap at the moment. Once again, guys, welcome to all of you joining on the stream. Please make sure you guys leave a like on the stream. Really do appreciate you guys doing that. Alright, so only driver currently on track right now is Atronac there. I think we got Vintage probably trying to get out on track there right now. So Atronac currently has the entire track for himself. Pretty clean here running around. So we should start to see some lap times in about 2 to 3 minutes or so. In about 3 minutes or so. Should have some times in. That is Vintage getting out. We do have someone else getting out behind of him. So they're getting out one by one on track right now. So gonna get a bit interesting very, very soon to see when we do have the lap time start to come in. And I'm just going to step away from the mic for just a second. In the meanwhile, these guys are out on their outlaps. I'll be back in less than a minute, so just give me that time, guys. Alright guys, back on. Hopefully it didn't take more than a minute for that one there. So let's see what's happening. We do have drivers currently on their hot lap, so definitely going to start to see some lap times in here soon. Atronac, unfortunately, has invalidated his lap, so let's switch on over to someone else. Probably the Vintage should be on his lap coming through. So let's have a look and see how his lap is going to go here. Let's get on board just a bit. It does look a bit cloudy on track. Drivers on the chat, can you guys tell me if it's going to be a full dry qualifying and a full dry race, or is there going to be any sort of drizzle or rain at any point in this session, as I'm really not sure what's going to happen here. It does look quite cloudy on track from when I left for a minute ago, just came back on. So somebody can let me know what the weather condition is for the session. Would be excellent at this point. And once again, guys, please do leave a like on the stream. Really appreciate when you guys do that. It does help me out to dry. Oh, dry. Okay, it's going to be dry race session, dry qualifying. That's going to be good. That's actually good to hear. So let's see how that's going to go with you guys. That's a 130.8 there from Vintage so far. Once again, as I was saying, guys, please do leave a like on the stream. You guys are on. It just literally take a second for you guys to do that. I appreciate you guys do that as well. So thank you very much. Let's see what the lap times are starting to look like here. So Vintage at 130.8. Who is the next driver to come across the line here? Looks like it might be not Carfish. He's invalidated his current lap. He's gonna have to try that again. Nick here, where is he on track? Invalidated his current lap as well. Why are we invalidating laps, guys? Let's be a bit careful with that. Savdar invalidated his lap as well. Mr. Rage invalidated his lap. Atronak on a lap, not invalidated as yet, but he still has about half of sector 3 to go, so you never know what's going to happen. Leclerc goes 130.2, 6 tenths faster than Vintage so far. Not a bad time. Let's see how that's going to hold up. Of course, Vintage did that on the mediums. Leclerc did it on the soft. So we're watching the strategy as it goes in terms of the tires they're running on right now. Let's see how this is working out. So currently we're on with Atronak here. He's about to get across the line. I think there's a car in front of him. I'm not sure if he's on a hot lap or a fast, what lap he's on. Atronak goes fastest now, 129.8. We're starting to get some faster times in this session here. So let's see. Most of our drivers are on hot laps at the moment. Where is Ethan on track here right now? He's trying to get a lap in. He's in sector 1 running. Is he going to get a purple sector 1? Let's have a look. Come on, Ethan. Get a purple sector 1. Or switching off. Oh, he got a purple sector 1 because we were going to switch off to someone else if he didn't get it. He got a purple sector 1. Let's see how his rest of his lap is going to go. Hopefully he gets a pretty good lap and gets maybe a 127 or 128 on this current lap here. Let's see how that's going to work for him. He's doing this on the mediums, I think it is, yes. So probably a 128 or a 129 might be getting here. Probably a 129. Let's see how that's going to work with the mediums. But it's going to be a bit interesting getting to the rest of the session, see how this works out. So purple sector 2 as well from Ethan there. So doing pretty well so far. Might be getting the fastest lap, at least for now in the session. But let's see how it goes. You got some more times coming in there as well. So currently Clarky fastest in the session at 129.4. Atronak, his team, is second fastest at 129.8. Leclerc third fastest at 132. Vintage fourth, 135. Mikey fifth, 139. And Codfish sixth at 131.2. We got Ethan about to get across the line here right now. And let's see where he goes on the grid. Goes second fastest at 129.498. 800th of a second slower than Clarky. Quite an impressive time. Getting a bit more competitive here in qualifying 2 right now. Let's go on to Mr. Rage down in the back here. Invalidated his lap. Disappointing. Let's go on to Nick here. He's running in sector 3. He's about to finish his lap. Good job, buddy. Finish off the lap. Don't invalidate. Let's see where he goes on the grid. Got Beefy on an outlap. Maddie on an outlap. Dan, Mr. Rage, and Neil in the pits right now. Let's see where they go when they get out. We got 7.5 minutes, just under 7.5 minutes left here in qualifying 2. Got Nick going across the line here right now. Where does he go on the grid? He goes third fastest at 129.6. Very impressive lap on the medium, so not too bad from him so far. Let's see who else is currently running. We got Beefy on an outlap. We got Maddie on an outlap. And Maddie just getting started. So Beefy is going to be the guy to get started sooner than him on that lap. Actually, Maddie gets started on a hot lap there. Let's have a look at him getting through with that. So the Ferrari driver trying to get a pretty good time in if he can. I'm a bit disappointed in the invalidated laps, but they do happen from time to time, especially with qualifying 2. It's a bit more pressure on the guys as well. Speaking from their perspective in terms of the session, they're trying to get time, and depending on what they're doing on the soft or the medium, because they're working towards their race strategy here for the race session itself. So it's a bit frustrating for them sometimes to try and get the fastest possible time in on the medium tires as it is. Most of them are trying to do it here right now, we can see. So we'll see how this works. Beefy is about to get started with his hot lap pretty soon. We should have a pretty good look at him to see where that's going to go with him. And we got Codfish asking, what's the strategy, guys? So We'll see what the strategy is going to be, because so far it's looking as these guys want to start the race on the medium tires as it is there right now, which means the strategy looks like it's going to be a one-stop strategy for the race. It's probably going to be medium to hards. I assume probably it's what the easiest strategy they're going to work on, to try to just get a one-stop done. Of course, if you're going to be doing a two-stop, you're going to probably have to hope for a safety car, which it might happen. We'll see. And I think Leclerc is right about that one in the chat. The mediums not possibly the best idea to be starting the race with the possibility of a safety car, the high possibility of a safety car, or safety cars in this case, in this session as it might be. But it does depend on the strategy that you're trying to run though, because if you're running out front in terms of your qualifying position at the end of qualifying 3, and you're starting on the mediums, it might be worthwhile to probably run medium to hard strategy, but you really got to think about it, and maybe from experience from past races that these guys have done here on the track, I think that's what it's going to be a bit dependent on. So we're going to see how the strategy works out, because I know majority of these guys are going to try to pull off a one-stop strategy for the race. Safety car or no safety car, they might still try to do that. I'm not sure. And Ethan there on the medium hard strategy as the best strategy, as he's used to starting mostly in the top 10. He will say is the best strategy, because I would agree with him, because as long as you're starting out front, medium to hards is the best strategy to work with, because you're not going to be pitting under the safety car. If there's an early safety car in the race, you're not going to be doing a pit stop. Guys down at the back are going to be doing that pit stop. Of course, they're still going to have to do a second pit stop, because they've done one so early on in the race, and it results in a two-stop strategy for them in terms of doing that. So the best option is doing a one-stop strategy in the race, keeping yourself out front, but you do have to avoid damage as well, and avoid having to take a pit stop in the race at that point. So it's a lot of dependent factors in terms of the race strategy that the guys work with here for F1 Esports races. So we'll see how it works out. But if you're going to be making it over to the top 10, I would recommend a medium to hard strategy on the race. Based on what I've seen so far, I mean, I'm the one streaming the races, guys. I usually pay attention to what strategies the guys are using, even though I'm not racing. Because, you know, it does help to, you know, commentate other races when you pay attention to what strategies they're using, if they're doing a one-stop or a two-stop, and how they're actually going. But anyone currently making it over to qualifying 3 on the softs definitely will have to run a two-stop strategy for the race. It's going to be very, very difficult to run a one-stop strategy, because you're going to have to do a soft to hard strategy, and that's going to be quite an aggressive strategy to run if you're trying to do that. But of course, they're not going to be doing that. They're going to just be hoping for a safety car to start the race on the soft, then switch it on over to an extra tires going on further on in the race, and see how that goes for them. I think that's most likely strategy for those on the soft. But most of the cars, as we can see, doing out on the mediums for a specific reason right now is just because they know that they're going to be trying to do a one-stop strategy, whether there's a safety car or not. And they're only going to do an early pit stop if it's beneficial to them at that point, or if they do need to do a wing change. So a lot of dependent factors on that. So we'll see how it works out though for them. So far in the qualifying 2 session, we got just about 2.5 minutes left right now. Mr. Rage currently fastest in the session at 129.076. Clark is second fastest, 129.4. Ethan third fastest at 129.498. Nick in 4th, Mandy 5th, Neil 6th, Atronax 7, Mikey 8th, Dan there in 9th, Beefy out, and in 10th with a 129.8. Will that time hold off to actually take Beefy over to qualifying 3? We're gonna see about that, yes, because we do have cars behind of him right now. And some of those cars are actually running on track still. Codfish on an outlap here right now, so he stands a pretty good chance of getting a faster lap in. Savdar might be getting another lap going as well. We're going to see how that strategy is going to work for him. Once again, guys, welcome to all of you who are joining on the stream with us. Please make sure you guys leave a like on the stream. Really do appreciate you guys doing that. It does help us out a lot, so make sure you just hit like on the stream. Thank you for joining on again. I hope you guys are going to enjoy the race session about to come on pretty short. We got about a minute and a half left in qualifying 2. Then we have to go through qualifying 3 with our top 10 fastest drivers for 12 minutes, and then we get on to the race session. So qualifying is always maybe a bit boring for some drivers, for some people, but I like watching it, especially with the full qualifying. Does get pretty interesting as well to see how it's going to work out with the race sessions. Even if we do multiple races per week with the same track, it's the same thing. It's always a bit different with different leagues. So Always interesting to see how it works out, and yep, a bit of strategy as well. As you can see, currently as we have it, only 2 drivers on track have done lap times on the soft tires. Majority have done it on the mediums, so we're aiming towards that one-stop strategy for the race itself here. And currently, I think Codfish getting started on another hot lap, trying to get a better time in from a 1:31.2. We got Sofdar on a lap here already, trying to finish off Indy McLaren. Let's see where he goes. He doesn't have a lap time currently with him on the grid, so definitely trying to get one in right now. Alright, so Sofdar goes across the line here right now. Let's see where he goes on the grid, and goes 6 fastest, 1:29.7. That's a pretty impressive time. That's actually going to take him over into qualifying 3. But at least the way it seems right now. We got just about 15 seconds left in qualifying 2. Not a lot of time. A lot of cars in the pits right now. Most of our front runners are in the pits. They're quite satisfied with their time, and they're going to be looking to start the race on those tires that are currently on there. So it looks like Neil is going to be the only guy starting on the softs. Everyone else looks like they're going to be starting on the mediums, because Leclerc is out of this session, out of the next session there. Codfish still trying to get a lap in. He's the last guy, I think, standing on the track right now, trying to get a time going better than a 1:31.2. He needs to get a faster than a 1:30 right now to get into the top 10. Beefy will be pushed off of qualifying 3 if that does happen. So let's see if he's able to hold on to P10 right now. He was off pretty early off in the session. And Codfish coming around right now in sector 3. We're going to stay on with him as he finishes off this lap here. And let's see if it's going to be a faster time and possibly get him into qualifying 3. And he gets across the line. And I think he only made 13th on that one there. So it doesn't look like he's going to be able to... Yeah, he did make 13th. So not, he did improve his time, but still not improving enough to make it over to qualifying 3, unfortunately. Let's have a look at the result for qualifying 2 right now. So Mr. Rage fastest in the session at 1:29.076 in the Alfa Romeo. We got Clarky second fastest in the Renault with mediums as well, 1:29.4, and then Ethan there in the next Alfa Romeo, third fastest in the session, 1:29.498, about 800 of a second slower than Clarky. Very impressive with the lap times. We got Nick currently fourth fastest at 1:29.611. Maddie fifth fastest at 1:29.626, about a 100 of a second slower there. Sofdar sixth fastest so far at 1:29.7. That's about 10 slower. So Neil there seventh fastest so far in the session, 1:29.7. We get Atronak 8th fastest, 1:29.8. We got Mikey there 9th fastest, 1:30.035, and that's our top 9 going over to qualifying 3. Beefy unfortunately did make the cut for this one here. He's going to have to start P10 on the grid, and 11 is going to be Dan there, 12 is going to be Leclerc, 13 Codfish, and 14 will be Vintage. And why is the timer not counting down for us to get out of the screen and over into the next session for qualifying 3? What's happening? Are we having a glitch? Oh, come on, you gotta be kidding me. Look to me, I'm the one that's stuck here right now. Someone please comment on this on the chat there. One of the drivers, are you guys stuck on the same screen? Yes or no? Because I'm stuck on the results screen right now and it's not getting off. If that is the case, what's happening here right now? What's happening? Something's going on. Alright, I think I'm stuck on the screen for some reason. Do I have a second invite to get onto the session? Because I think I might have to leave and get on back to the session here. Alright, I'm getting off the screen. I need to see if I have a second invite to get on back to the session, which I think I do. We're going to see if that's going to work here right now. I need to get off the screen because I'm stuck on this one. Hopefully this doesn't cause any sort of incidents or any glitch. Oh, he says I'm not stuck, and I already got off the screen, so I'm joining it back right now anyway, so it's fine. I already have a second invite. Feel free to send me another invite if you guys want, just in case something does happen. Alright, I'm just waiting for it to load before I do get back on the screen. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Alright, let's get on back here right now. There's our second invite. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. My bad. There we go. We should be getting back on here right now. Apologies, guys. Crap, does happen. I didn't want to take the chance. I had a feeling like if I was stuck on it. So I'm not waiting for everything to load to get on back to that. then we should be getting back into it. Alright, so we're gonna give that a while to load right now. I'm not even sure what's happening. We're just waiting. I don't like to wait. What's happening? Has Q3 started as yet? Ah, this is annoying. We're gonna have to just wait. Why are there 3 spectators? Yep, does seem like there's some sort of glitch going on. Let me know what's happening. I'm not sure what's happening, guys. I'm just gonna wait this one out. Hey, Tree Slayer, what is up, man? Yep, this is quite odd. I'm not sure what the heck is going on right now. I thought I had a glitch on my end, so I got off. I joined back. Now I'm stuck here. I was stuck one place. Now I'm stuck somewhere else. So I'm not sure if everyone else is still stuck or not. We're waiting on confirmation to see if this is a glitch. Let's have a look in Discord, see what's happening. We might do custom grid. Yep, we might have to. New grid. So is it a new lobby as well? If it is a new lobby, and somebody invite me so I can join on the new lobby. Oh yeah, it is a new lobby. We are talking now. New lobby. Takes the results from Q2. Shit game. Robbie asking if he can join then. I'm reading off the Discord, or I have nothing else to do right now. He says he'll start Lost, no problem. Dan saying join. Be careful what you say in the Discord right now, because I'm reading it out. I do have a lobby invite as yet. No, I don't have a lobby invite as yet. I'm waiting for a lobby invite. Let me get out of this one, so I can join on the new lobby. Alright, so guys, so we might be skipping qualifying 3 and just getting straight onto the race session with a custom grid. So they're deciding whether to use the qualifying 1 results or the qualifying 2 results. I would probably say it's more fair to use the qualifying 1 results and just count this as a short qualifying session and just go on from there. Probably the best thing to do. I'm not sure, just my suggestion. I think it would be more fair on everyone. Just use the qualifying 1 result as a short qualifying session and skip it on through to the race after that. Tree Slayer asking if this is a new glitch. I think it is a new one. I haven't had this one happen before, Tree Slayer. I haven't had this one happen before. BP saying it's an odd glitch. That's 2 persons saying no, it's an odd glitch. New lobby. I haven't gotten an invite to the new lobby, so can someone get me onto the new lobby? Thank you very much. There was a safety car during qualifying. How did I not see the safety car during qualifying? I was talking too much probably. Or was it when I left that happened? I'm not even sure. We'll have to really have a look back at the stream to see what happened during that qualifying 2 session there. Alright, so we're just basically waiting for the invite to the new lobby right now, guys, and we're doing a custom grid, probably based on the qualifying 1 results, or maybe the qualifying 2, I'm not sure, but we're going to get started using those results. And yeah, let's see how that's going to go from there. We're going to get straight into the race session. Kind of just Waiting right now. Vans Racing in a hurry to get the invite, please. Ethan telling him it's being set up. Hold on, buddy. It's getting set up. Don't worry. Stu just saying the safety car was faster than he was. What was happening in that session? Okay, so we're just waiting for the new lobby invite and we should get on to the race session. They're setting up the custom grid and then invites will be out. Just trying to keep you guys entertained what's happening in your Discord right now so we can bring it up on screen. And Robbie is going to be joining on the session, getting onto the racing point. Free Slayer saying we got about 2 months more of this game according to rumors. And Neil got into qualifying 3 for the first time and is not going to be able to participate in qualifying 3. Unfortunate, Neil, but you know, good job on that still. Ethan probably getting a bit annoyed with everyone needing an invite. Hey, Ethan, I need an invite as well. Ethan, I need an invite. I need an invite. I'm the most important person here that needs an invite. Where's my invite? Beefy's just showing some sort of list. I'm not even sure what that is about. I'm still waiting for my invite. No one's giving me an invite as yet. I'm just kidding, guys. They're getting the grid sorted right now. Oh, and there we go. Oh, Nick gives me an invite. Thank you, Nick. Ethan did not give me an invite. We're not going to focus on Ethan in the race. We're not going to watch his car in the race. He didn't get me an invite. Alright, so we're back on the new lobby here. They're getting the custom grid sorted through, and then we should get back started with the race, guys. So let's just give the guys a few minutes to get that sorted through. And Trislayer is right about that one. He will be starting on a first set of tires on this case here right now with the custom grid. So good luck on that one. Let's see how that's going to work out. Scooby complaining he hasn't gotten an invite. Ethan didn't give me an invite either. I still got on the session. Apologies everyone, we have to just wait until the grid is sorted before we do get back started with this here right now. Alright guys, looks like we're about to get back started with the race here. Custom grid using Q2 results, I think it is. So let's work with that and let's see how the race session is about to go. I wonder if anyone to actually turn the formation lap on or not. I'm not sure. Let's see how it's going to go either way. Very, very sunny out. Quite dry. Did no one mistaken put wet session for this one? Purposely on accident, maybe? Let's see how it goes. Anyway, guys, welcome back on to everyone who's joining on the session here. Thank you guys for joining. Make sure you guys leave a like on the stream. Please do that. Thank you very much. And we're about to get started with the race session here right now. In about 20 seconds, not right now. Okay, so on with our formation lap here right now. It's going to be a 27 lap race around the circuit here for the French Grand Prix with PGL F1 Sunday Division round 13 of 23. Let's have a look at our starting grid as it is there right now. We got Mr. Raid starting P1 in this race. Clark is going to start second. Ethan will start third. Nick will start fourth. Maddie starting fifth. We got Softar starting sixth. We got Neil will start seventh. Afternack starting behind him there in eighth. Mikey starts ninth. We got Beefy starting 10th. Dan will start 11th. Leclerc starts 12th. Codfish will start 13th. We got Vintage starting 14th. Red Devil starts 15th on the grid. Then we got Vans Racing starting 16th. Scooby will start 17th. IG Studio will start 18th, Robbie there starting 19th, and Dan Murphy will start 20th on the grid there as we have it so far. So looking forward to a great race here, guys. Let's make sure our stats are up and ready to go and all good here. We're going to keep this on position changes as usual. Let's have a look at tires where they're starting on here right now. As you can see, most of them on the medium tires there. Neil on the soft tires there as he was on in Q2 because we're using that sort of result there for the race start itself. Everyone else below that will have a free choice of tires from 11th onwards, from 10th onwards actually. So let's see how that race start is going to go. We're going to keep this on position changes here so you guys can have a look at that as the race gets started. We're about to get sorted back on the grid itself here right now. We're going to put on telemetry when we do get DRS online. With that, we know some of these guys will be pushing as much as they can through the first opening lap of the race, trying to build up positions as much as they can. We're going to see how that is going to work out for them as everyone is about to get sorted back on the grid here at the moment for the start of the French Grand Prix. So we're going to just have to wait for that to happen. Looks like someone fell back just a bit there. Might have been Robbie there. Anyway, we're getting sorted here right now. Let's see how this race start is about to go. We're looking pretty good on the grid there. Both Alfa Romeo running just right next to each other, not too far away. Mr. Rage here, P1, Ethan P3, Clarky running second. We got his teammate Atronac down in 8th. We're going to see how that's going to go for Renault. Let's see between Mr. Rage and Clarky who's going to get a better start on this race here. And then we'll have a look at the rest of the grid going through turns 1 and 2 and see what's going to happen in terms of a safety car or not. Let's have a look here right now on board with Clarky. Let's see between him and Mr. Rage who gets a better start. That is 5 lights on here right now. We're about ready to go. And they're off. And looks like Clarky had a split second better start off of Mr. Rage. And he's going to get a better run down into turn 1. Side by side, they're still going through. Let's see who gets off or down there. Looks like Clarky is going to get that position. But Mr. Rage has off the inside on it. Let's see. They're still finding it on through. As Mr. Rage goes a bit wider wrong, comes back on track and is now running second. Has Maddie for company alongside him. So far so good though. I think everyone's gotten through pretty well. I didn't notice any major incidents down at the back of the track, even since we're getting through pretty well so far. Out in front though, Mr. Rage and Clocky pretty close up behind each other, and they're going side by side once again as Mr. Rage is trying to take back that lead once again from Clocky. Let's see if that's working out, and he's gotten back into the lead. Clocky's back down to second once again, so a bit of a switch between the two of them. Getting back to the original positions there. Let's see how that's going to hold off. It's the 10th only between the two of them as they continue to race on through. Everyone else on the grid still pretty close off. Atronak there running pretty close behind Sofdar. Only a 10th behind. I think that might be stuck on the positions there as well. I'm not even sure. Let's bring on to Horizon. Let's put telemetry on because DRS will be online pretty soon enough for that to be for us to work with that. I think the gap in front is just kind of stuck for just a bit, so we're going to have to just probably ignore it and see how that's working. But on board right now, Wade Clarkey here can show as a pretty close gap between the two of them, and it's going to be a pretty good battle between them going on to the end of the race. We're about to go into lap 3 here right now in this race. And that's going to cross the line. I think there we go. Or are we in lap 2? I'm not even sure what's happening here. Is it grid? I think the leaderboard is stuck for a second. We're going to have to just wait for that to sort itself out. So on lap 2 going through, Mr. Rage about 3/10 behind. Let's see how close that gap is actually getting. The rest of the grid falling back just a bit. But let's go on with Atronak here and Maddie here. Pretty close gap between these guys in the midfield at the moment as they are going through. Sofdar, Atronak, Maddie and Mikey are very close by together. So a bit of a train over with the cars going on through there. Out in front gap has increased to about 3 or 4 tenths between the two of them. Nick and Red Devil into the pits right now. We're going to see what's happening with those two in just a bit. Probably some contact from the opening lap, I would assume. And yeah, we are on lap 2. So, unfortunately, safety car is on right now. Something's happened somewhere on track. I'm not even sure where that is at the point here. But definitely something happened causing a virtual safety car to happen at this point. I'm not sure what's happening on track. Fans and Scooby switching positions down in the back of the grid there. Or probably just a lot of debris on track from a collision somewhere. But something definitely has happened. Scooby having a 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flags right now. That's not going to go off too well with him. Let's get on back out in front, see if Clark is actually catching up to Mr. Rage with the VSC, and he does seem to be doing that right now, keeping as close as he can and keeping within the delta as well. So keeping a pretty good gap going with that there. Of course, looking at the strategy, everyone running on the mediums there out front. Going to be very interesting to see how that works out. And this should be over with very, very soon. Oh, Atronak had a bit of an incident coming onto the main straight. That's what caused the VSC. Thank you very much, Tree Slayer. Did not even know that happened. DRS is now online and we're on into lap 3 of this race here right now going on through. So let's see how the rest of the race continues on. 5 tenths is the gap between race leader Mr. Rage and Clarky there going on through the two of them, and they're going to be chasing each other around for most of this race, I would assume. Let's go down between here in the midfield. Beefy chasing after the Mercedes of Mikey right now. 2 tenths the gap is, and he's really pushing forward to try and get that position up if he can. He started down there in 10th, I believe he is, and he's up to 7th already in this race. So doing pretty well. Neil there running 8th right now on those soft tires. Let's see if that's going to work for him in terms of strategy. It's a pretty close gap down in the midfield right now. We're going to keep on following on with this Beefy and Mikey, see what's happening. Of course, Maddie's going to come under a bit of pressure right now from that Mercedes there as well, as we can see what's happening out front. They're getting pretty close up, and he's trying to hold off their P5 if he can. Has Sofdar in front of him. He's going to have to be a bit worried about that in just a bit as well to try and get by if he can. Of course, up front gap is starting to go down just a bit as well. 2 tenths between race leader Mr. Rage and Clarky 112. And looks like Clarky is trying for a move here. Let's see if he's going to get it done. Right up to the rear of the Alfa Romeo right now, trying to get a position up, but has to get a good gap to get his overtake done. Doesn't want to risk losing second place in the race at this point here. And welcome to Liam on the chat there. Thanks for joining on. See how this is working. Mr. Rage goes a slightly bit wide on the racing line there and loses about a tenth or two. And let's see how this is going to go. DRS advantage goes to Clarky going down the pit straight here right now, down to turn 1. And looks like Mr. Rage has a pretty interesting run there as well, using maybe a bit of overtake, but I'm not sure. Let's see how that's going to work. And looks like Clarky gets the fastest lap through that one. 3 tenths the gap is right now. And Mr. Rage gets a penalty out front, feeding the pressure from the Renault behind. Definitely going to have some problems in the race with that penalty there as well. Going back down to BP here and Mikey, see what's happening in the midfield at the moment. Down in the back, I see Dan Murphy and Vintage having a bit of a switch. And Dan Murphy started down all the way at the back of the grid. And he's got up into 12th position, so quite interesting to see that happening so far. Let's see how the rest of the race progresses on through. On lap 4 right now, going on through, and Beefy is having a bit of a close gap with Mikey still, 4 tenths, keeping around that range. Nick now getting the fastest lap, 132.3. Where is he running right now? He's running down in 18th at the moment on medium tires here. So far so good. Out in front gap is going down just a bit again, so we're going to keep an eye on that gap as it goes up and down between Rage and Clarky there. So the two of them might be switching positions off maybe 1 or 2 times in the race. We'll see how it goes. In terms of the pit stops, I'm not sure who's going to be pitting first in terms between the two of them. Clarky might be watching for Mr. Rage to do a pit stop first, and we'll see how that's going to work out. As we can see, a bit of space between most of our cars here right now. We got Robbie here and Codfish getting pretty close off together. That Racing Point is definitely looking to get a position up, even running on the hard tires. He seems to be catching up to Codfish very quickly as on board we go right now. So he will have that DRS advantage coming onto the pit straight. Let's see if that's going to be of any use to him or not. Codfish is going to have to defend for his life at this point here right now to keep 9th place in the race. Out in front gap is down to about 2/10 once again between Mr. Rage and Clarky there, and a pretty close gap it is. I think he got that going down the pit straight as the true turns 1 and 2 right now going through. And for Robbie not getting the best of run going down here. Dan Murphy here right now getting a pretty good run, and let's see if he's able to get up into 11. Murphy's gotten quite a lot of positions gained in this race so far though, I gotta say. He's all the way up into 12th right now and running. Robbie running 10th. See where he's going at the moment. Still chasing after Codfish here for 9th, so needs to keep that car as close as he can. Of course, does have to avoid any contact, using his overtake and DRS advantage going down that straight. Let's see if it's going to help, and looks like it might. He definitely will try to take the inside on the next turn, and looks like he might be able to get it. Let's have a look here right now. Takes back the racing lane already. The Racing Point of Robbie goes up into 9. Codfish down to 10th. Unfortunate for him. He'll have to try and get the position back if he wants. Maddie's getting pretty close after the Mikey out front. Beefy down in 7th and running. That's going to have a look on how that's going as well. Alright, let's see what's happening here right now. Codfish about 5/10 behind, so he's losing some time right now. Going back up to Beefy right now, chasing after Maddie there for P6. That's the DRS advantage, has the overtake on, and let's see, he's going to be forced to take it around the outside. Long way around as Maddie is covering off the inside. Let's see if that strategy is going to work here. And Beefy does actually pull across and get it done. He's up into 6th place in the race now. Puts Maddie down to 7th and about 2/10 behind. Still a pretty close gap to work with, so he's going to have to be a bit careful about it here. Vintage running pretty close after Danilo there in 12th. And that looks like an overtake in the happenings right now. Murphy just in front of that, so he's going to have to be a bit careful there as well. Let's have a look what's happening up here with Rob. Going side by side right now with Neil and gets by up into P8. They're still going a bit side by side actually, so Robbie finally gets that position up now. So he's holding P8. Puts Neil down to 9th. So he's gained another position so far in this race. He's moving up quite a bit. He started down at the back of the grid as well. Joined on after we had a bit of glitch there in qualifying too. And he's running actually pretty well in the race so far. Out in front, he still got, now we got Clarky leading the race against Mr. Rage. So he had to switch between the two of them. Mr. Rage down to 2nd place, and with the penalty still, he's about 4/10 behind Clarky right now. Let's have a look, see if he's going to have any sort of advantage down the pit straight right now with the DRS advantage and the overtake on. He's using everything he has right now to try and get as close as he can to the Renault out in front. And he has decreased the gap just a little bit. But I don't think it's enough to actually get an overtake down. It's going back down to 6th place right now with Beefy here. Maddie about 3/10 behind this. And of course Mikey about 7/10 in front of us. So let's see how that battle is going on through, because Maddie's definitely looking to get by right now in the Ferrari there. Trying to keep an eye on him. Down at the back we do have a few battles as well happening. We see got Vintage and Dan there. Pretty close gap between them. Murphy is getting out in 11th, about 2nd ahead. Clarky and Mr. Rage, still the gap is just about 3/10 to about 5/10 between them, and I think it's probably going to stay around that for at least for now. We can see the penalties starting to come in and just a bit as we go on through with the race here, but we'll see how the penalties affect race positions down at the end. Murphy getting pretty close after Codfish right now. It looks like he's working his way up trying to get up the approach. Let's have a look what's happening there right now. So Murphy there in the McLaren chasing after Codfish in a Ferrari. Let's see how that battle is going to go, because 2/10 is the gap right now, and Murphy is looking to get by, and he's right up to the rear of that car. It's just following in the slipstream just a bit if he can, trying to keep on the same line. Trying to maintain the gap as much as he can here right now, and he seems to be doing a pretty good job of it, because he's keeping within about 3 to 4 tenths, so not too bad in terms of trying to get an overtake done. He's going to have the DRS advantage coming onto the pit straight here right now, so that's going to be something for him to work with. We got Neil into the pits right now. This is going to put a few cars up in position. Let's have a look on board with Murphy here. Vintage, and I think someone on the back switch positions there. Or maybe that was just someone going into the pits. Probably yes, Neil going into the pits for a second there. That's what caused that to show on screen. And then look at it, it's got a 3-second penalty. Not going too well for him there. 5 tenths right now, the gap between Murphy and Codfish. So Codfish gaining about 2 tenths so far. Let's see if he's going to continue gaining and probably get a little bit more further ahead. He is on the medium tires. Should have a little bit more advantage over Murphy there on the hards. Both being on 7 laps on their tires so far. Beefy getting about 3 tenths again right now behind Mikey there. Another 7 tenths behind is Maddie. So that gap is still right where it was. We got Murphy about to make a move on Codfish here right now. Trying to take it on the inside. Gets the move done and is up ahead. That is the Ferrari of Codfish down to 10th place on the grid there right now. Not a bad overtake done by Murphy there as well. He's now going to chase after Robbie there in P8. 4.2 seconds ahead. Gap is now already 4 tenths between Dan Murphy and Codfish as we have it here. I think that's going to continue on increasing, at least from now. It's about to 6 tenths and going up even further there. So far so good for Murphy. He's gotten up in the 9th. Let's go on back further out in front with Beefy here, see what's happening between him and Mikey and Maddie as well. There's a bit of a close gap between the 3 of them as we have it here. We can see the Red Bull of Beefy going in the middle of them there. Using his DRS advantage as much as he can, trying to keep up with the Mercedes in front of him. Having a bit of a difficult time with that. Got Maddie in the Ferrari just behind that. He's coming up as well. Gap out front between Clarky, our race leader currently, and Mr. Rage currently in second is 6 tenths at the moment. Both on the same set of tires. 8 laps on those mediums so far. And they're definitely running a one-stop strategy. So we'll see when they do this to actually do a pit stop here. Because it's a 27-lap race and we're on lap 9 right now. So they're going to be doing a pit stop before we get to the halfway point, trying to get onto the hard tire, to go to the end of the race. So we'll see how the strategy is going to work for them. Got our guys on the soft tires, getting off those soft tires already, trying to get onto the next set of tires going on. Hopefully, they're trying to do a 2-stop strategy, I would assume there. Let's see if that's going to work, because a 1-stop would be pretty difficult actually to pull off here right now, but might just be possible even if you start the race on the soft tires, but would be a lot more safer to try and pull that off on the medium to hard strategy. Nick down in the back there, getting pretty close off the Neil. Let's have a look at that right now. So Nick here running in the AlphaTauri, got Neil in front of him in the Williams, and he's about to get by here right now, actually going side by side with him. And he actually gets by on the racing lane back again. So Nick is up to 14th place in this race right now. Neil down to 15th due to that overtake there. They're still going to chase each other around, at least for now. Let's see if the gap is going to increase. Looks like it is increasing just a bit as we get on through that. Got Red Devil and Leclerc down in the back. Have switched positions apparently there, according to what our graphic just showed on screen. So far going pretty well in this race. Let's get back out front with our race leader here. We got Clarky leading the race, Mr. Rage running second, Ethan still running in third. He has a bit of a gap in front and both behind of him as well. 3.5 seconds he has to catch up to Mr. Rage there, his teammate up there in second place in the race. And he has Safdar running about 2.1 seconds behind him. Safdar running pretty well in this race so far. So both Alfa Romeos running pretty well, second and third in the race as we have it there right now. So they're doing pretty well. If they can finish both cars on the podium, would be a pretty good finish, I think, for the team in terms of points for the constructors and for the drivers' championship for both of them as well. I want to see how that works out. 4 tenths a gap between Mr. Rage and Clarky right now, as they're trying to get one of those cars onto P1 here if they can. Let's see what's going to happen. Mr. Rage pushing as much as he can. 6/10 right, 5/10, 6/10 right now is what the gap is between him and Clarky out of front. But Clarky running pretty well in that Renault. His teammate Atronak is currently down in 16th on the grid and running. Currently on board here right now with Mr. Ray. 3/10 the gap is. He's closing it off just a little bit. And Mr. Clark is starting to get into a bit of traffic out front. So they're going to have to start to think about their pit stops pretty soon. That's them getting past Red Devil there. The car down in 20th on the grid. We got a yellow flagging sectors 1 and 2. Not sure what's happening on track. Maybe someone went off just a little bit there. So a pretty close gap between these two. 4/10 the gap is there right now. As they continue on through this race, let's see when they're going to decide to do their pit stop. I think Mr. Rage is waiting on Clarky to do his pit stop. I'm probably trying to get a pretty good in lap, and that's going to mean that Clarky is going to have to get an excellent out lap before he gets that overtake done. It looks like Mr. Rage is trying to pull alongside Clarky, but not enough room to actually do that there. He was running out of straight. And that is Mr. Rage with another 3-second penalty. That is going to be 6 seconds of penalties for him so far. He's really putting a lot of pressure on himself in terms of getting all these penalties. That's going to affect him finishing on the podium itself here right now. His teammate Ethan is turning to P3, running in the race, 4.5 seconds behind. He doesn't have any penalties as it is there right now. So we're going to see how this is really going to work out for them at the moment. And got a Williams getting off track there for a second. I'm not sure what's happening there. Was that Red Devils? Yeah, he was getting off track. Probably a bit of a mistake from him. And going back down to our midfield right now, we got Beefy chasing after Mikey here right now. He's desperately trying to get up into P5. Has gotten away from Maddie. 1.6 second currently is a gap to... Actually, no, a bit of a switch between them. What's happening here right now? So Beefy... Oh, Maddie's in the pits. My bad. I was trying to figure out what was happening there. So Beefy trying to push it around the outside of the Mercedes right now. Gets it on the inside now. Oh, and a bit of spin happening. Beefy has spun around. A bit of contact with the Mercedes, I think, and loses the rear of the car. He's going to get back going here right now. But now in 7th place. Loses a position here. Almost got that overtake done with. I think he was trying to fight it out pretty hard to get that overtake done with. And cost him a position here right now because of the contact between... I think they had a bit of contact between them from what it seemed like there. We're pretty close off together. Yep, and you noticed that as well, Trisler. He noticed the reset as well. So I'm not the only one that noticed that. I assume that will be dealt with at the end of the race. Alright, so let's see what we got going on here right now. So 1 second right now is a gap between Clarky and Mr. Rage out front. That gap has extended just a bit. Mr. Rage probably a bit frustrated out front there right now, trying to get back the lead and losing time and getting 6 seconds of penalty so far. Not going too well for him. His teammate Ethan, no penalties, running just behind him. Well, 4.9 seconds behind, not too close off. We'll see how that's going to work. So a bit of gap starting to form between most of our drivers right now as we have it. I think our closest gap is with probably with down in the back here with Scooby, but he's losing that gap right now. Let's have a look what's happening out front. And Beefy's going to get into the pits. So is Ethan here. So Ethan is going to be the first of the Alfa Romeos to do a pit stop. His team is still running out there. Let's see how this is going to change the race up just a bit here right now. Out in front, we're trying to have a look between Mr. Rage and Clarky. Who's going to be the first to do a pit stop here? Because it's getting right around that time right now where they do need to do that pit stop. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this race so far as it's been going. It's been quite interesting so far. We're about the halfway point of the race here right now. If you're joining us on now in the session, guys, do have a look when the stream is over back at the qualifying session. It was quite interesting getting through Q1, Q2. We did have a bit of an issue getting to qualifying 3, so we had to do a little bit of a change getting on to the race session, and we're on with that right now. It has been interesting from the start up to this point so far. So hopefully you guys enjoy watching so far. Please make sure you guys leave a like on the stream as we have going on. And Leclerc seems to be disconnected from his car. I'm just actually noticing that there right now. So I don't know if he's getting back on. Doesn't look like he will. I see he's what we call traffic right now. Getting through that. They might just do that. And like, oh, whoa, Mr. Rage misses the breaking point there right now. and barely makes it into the pit. He almost went straight into the barriers there, and that would have cost him the entire race itself. So he's in behind Clarky, and Trees there called that one perfectly right. They're both going to go in behind each other. It's usually what happens mostly with the race leaders fighting it off through that close out in front. Within a second or two, they usually follow each other into the pits. So I think Mr. H was just waiting on Clarky to go into the pits there. Robbie now, who has not pitted as yet, is now taking over the lead of the race. Murphy is going to take over second place, for now at least. Clarky is going to take over third now as he's back out on track. Race leader here, previous race leader here, I would say. So he's back out on track. He's on third. He's on fresh hard tires, running 1.6 seconds behind the Murphy there and Robbie, and he's gonna try and yes, I did see when the Williams, I think that was the Williams of Red Devil that had a spin around at the back of the track. I'm not sure if it was Neil. No, I think it was. I know Red Devil has a bit of an issue early on. Not too, about a few laps ago, he had a bit of a. I think actually, I don't think he spun. Probably was Neil. I probably had a spin then. I'm not sure. I think someone did have a spin wrong that caused a bit of thing there. So anyway, they're continuing on. So let's see what's happening. Out front, 6 seconds is the lead between Robbie right now and Murphy. So a bit of a gap between the two of them. Clarky here, 1.1 second, well 1 second right now. Actually, he's just gaining time off of the McLaren in front of him. So he's almost right up to the rear of Murphy's car. He's going to gain time very, very quickly on those fresh hard tires. He's going to push as much as he can on this lap here right now, trying to catch up. He wants to get back his lead as early as possible for the race. As we're on lap 14 or 27 right now. I'm quite sure he knows both cars in front of him will have to do a pit stop. There goes Murphy into the pits. Is Robbie in the pits? No, Robbie is not into the pits. So 3.1 second, 3.2 seconds, sorry, is the gap. Actually, I'm not sure what the gap is. Let's see what it's going to be as he gets on past the line here. Using his DRS advantage that he got off of Murphy's car, and he's now 6.6 seconds behind Robbie, who's leading the race at the moment. So let's see how it's going to go for Clark here. We know he's going to get back the lead of the race, obviously, at some point, but I think he's pushing on through to even get it before Robbie does a pit stop. But Robbie's done 14 laps on those hard tires so far. He's going to have to do a stop very, very soon. Let's go down to the midfield right now with Sofdar chasing after with Maddie here. 5/10 or 4/10 actually is the gap between the two of them. And they're fighting it off for 6th position currently as it is. We got Ethan running just ahead of them there by another 4 seconds or so. He's running in 5th. Here's Steven, Mr. Rage running just out in front. Mr. Rage on fresh tires, of course, trying to get past Danilo here for P3. Let's have a look how that's going, because he's trying to take it on the inside, I think, but not able to get it back as yet, as he actually did get it. Did get it moved on the house driver there, so he's up back into P3 in this race, and he's behind Clarky by about 3 seconds right now though, so he has some time to catch up. Let's see how that catching up is going to go. That's going to be a bit of a waiting game for him, trying to catch her back. But got both of them on the same fresh tires. 2.9 seconds is where the gap is between Clarky and Mr. Rage. And Clarky gets a penalty as well. Quite interesting to see what's happening there. So a 3-second penalty for Clarky. We got Mr. Rage with 9 seconds. Danilo there with 6 seconds of penalties. Neil has 9. Scooby has 11. 3 for Achnak. 3 for Vans Racing. IG8Live for 9. And Red Devil with 3 seconds. Quite interesting with the penalties so far. We're going to see how that works out coming down to the end of the race, of course. And we still have 3 drivers that are yet to do pit stops. We have Scooby hasn't done a pit stop. He's in 14th. He's quite a way down. Danilo hasn't done a pit stop, and neither has Robbie there. So Danilo will do a pit stop. That's going to put Ethan back up behind Mr. Rage when that does happen. So we'll see how that's going to work out. Following on right now with Sofdar, 4/10 behind Maddie right now, trying to chase him off for that position there as it is. And looks like he's doing pretty well at it, keeping a gap below half of a second. Out in front, it's 4.6 seconds right now between Robbie and Clarky. It was about 6.6 seconds after the pit stop and after he got into second place in the race, so has gained quite a considerable amount of time so far. So Sofdar still about 5/10 behind. We do have Beefy about 5/10 behind Mikey as well. That battle is going on just about 2.5 seconds behind of this one. So let's see what's going to happen by the time we get further down into this race. We know out front the gap is now down to 3.6 seconds between. Oh, and we got Robbie into the pit, so that's going to put Clarky back up into the lead of the race here right now. So Robbie has finally done his pit stop. Clarky goes back into the lead of the French Grand Prix. That's going to put Mr. Rage back up into second place right now. And Danilo is into the pits as well, which means Ethan is about to go up into third place in this race. And he does here right now. Of course, he doesn't have any penalties. Now, this is going to be an interesting play coming down to the end of it. We got about 10.5 laps left to go. We have Clarky leading this race with a 3-second penalty. We got Mr. Rage running with about 9 seconds of penalties. We got his teammate running third with no penalties. So let's see what the gaps are going to be coming down to the end of the race, because we know Ethan is going to get past Mr. Rage in terms of finishing positions to get second place. But will he be able to get Clarky on that one? Because it might be wise for them to do a switch here with Alfa Romeo. I'm not 100% sure. It does depend how fast Ethan is compared to Mr. Rage right now in terms of catching up, because he's about 5.3 seconds behind his teammate. Let's see how fast he's able to catch up. And Mr. Rage, let's see what he can actually do if he's able to get by Clarky still and possibly keep Clarky down there in second place and have Ethan catch up to him. Might be a good strategy to work with if he's able to get by the Renault. Just push him down into second and probably try to hold him up a little bit and have Ethan catch up and get within 3 seconds, and that's going to put Ethan up into second place, and that's going to be a 1-2 finish there. Well, it'll be Ethan probably finishing in P1 still. If that does happen, it could work out quite an interesting way here for the race finish. We're going to see how this is going to go and what their strategy is going to be between the Alfa Romeo drivers here. I'm not sure what they're going to plan on doing, but Clark is going to have to be a bit careful out front. Does have a 3-second penalty. Of course, against Mr. Rage, he is still going to be able to keep the race win. But with Ethan coming just behind his teammate, I'm not sure what strategy these two are going to try to play. They have enough laps to work something out here. If they're talking to each other at the moment, I'm not sure. We'll see how that goes. Going back down to Sofdar, see what's happening there. 5 tenths the gap is. That's going to keep going on for now. We're going to go further down the field. Codfish down behind, chasing after Atronak here. Let's see what's happening with these two at the moment. So gap is about up to a second right now. We're going to go back to Neil right now, actually. Let's see what's happening to Neil. He has DRS advantage and using a bit of overtake, chasing after Vintage for 11th place in the race right now, and he's getting right up to the rear of that car. So a pretty close gap between the two of them. We're on lap 18 right now of 27, so still about 10 laps to go. Nick there getting the fastest lap at 1:31.3 so far, so not too bad with the lap times as we have it. And pretty close gap right now between Sofdar and Maddie. Looks like it's getting a lot closer, as we can see right now. Some DRS advantage would help out a lot at this point, but he does have a lot of ERS to use for overtake, so let's see if that's going to help him. Of course, we can see Maddie using a bit of a different line from him compared to the two of them, so let's see how that's working out. Gap out from between Clarky and Mr. Rage is now down to about 2.4 seconds, so it looks like Mr. Rage is actually gaining a bit of time. Of course, Ethan is losing some time to his teammate right now, so he is not able to keep up at this point in the race here. He's down by 6.3 seconds. So we're trying to see if he's able to actually keep up and probably get up there to probably have some sort of strategy work out. I'm not sure as yet. And yep, the battle for P6 is going to get quite interesting with these two, because Mikey and Beefy pretty close off together. It's 4 tenths is the gap right now between the two of them, and literally right up to the rear of the Red Bull right now. So Beefy is going to be under a lot of pressure to try and keep that position. Let's see what's going to happen with Maddie and Sofdar out in front for 4th position as well. So we got a battle for 4th, we got a battle for 6th as it is here right now. We're going to see how that's going to work out. Out in front, we got interesting battles. Oh, and there we go. So Mikey going alongside the Red Bull already, getting up into 6th position already here. So getting that position done quite easily. Sofdar and Maddie having a bit of a tussle out front as well. Let's see what's happening there. And there goes Sofdar. He's going to go alongside Maddie right now, trying to get ahead. He has the inside. Let's see if he's going to get the position done. Looks like he gets it done for now at least. What's happening with Mikey and Beefy? They think they've done a switch back once again here. No, they're actually trying to switch it back. So Beefy's trying to switch it back, but they're not able to get that done as yet. Of course, he now has Robbie coming about 2 or 3 tenths behind. So getting a bit more interesting And yeah, Robbie does seem to have quite a decent pace here right now. He's catching up quite easily to Beefy. Keeping that gap about 2 or 3 tenths is going to put him in a pretty good position, as he's going to get DRS advantage going down the pit straight right now. Let's see how this is going to run, because a pretty close gap as Beefy is trying to get past Mikey right now. Gets ahead, back up into 6. Mikey now back down to 7. 4 tenths behind is Robbie coming, and let's see what that's going to work out, because quite interesting between the 3 of them. Not sure how this is going to finish, but yep, I noticed Mr. Rage is catching Clarky out front. I'm waiting for that gap to go down below half of a second. I'm going to switch back to that one there to see what's going to happen. Mr. Rage, of course, not going to be able to keep that win, but still, if he can get across the line, P1, that would be something for him. We're going to see. We're going to see what the penalties stand at, because I'm not sure if Clarky got any more penalties so far in the race there. Trying to follow on still here what's happening with Maddie, Beefy, and Mikey, and Robbie. And this is going to be quite interesting, because Maddie's getting away by 1.7 seconds out in front, but Beefy here and Mikey, pretty close gap, and 2 tenths now is behind, with a racing point of Robbie coming with them. A bit of close contact here as well. Now the Mercedes of Mikey and Robbie side by side. It looks like Robbie's trying to get up into 7th if he can, and not able to do this yet. Beefy trying to get away from the 2 of them. He's about 8 tenths ahead. Let's see if that's going to work out. Side by side, the racing point and the Mercedes go here. That's Robbie up into 7. Mikey's down 2 positions right now. He's down to 8 on the grid, and let's see if he's able to catch back up. Out in front, our gap is 4 tenths between Clarky and Mr. Ray. That's getting pretty interesting out front. We're going to see how that's going to work out as well. I think this battle might be over front now. Let's switch on over to out front, see what's happening here. And DRS advantage will really help out Mr. Rage in catching up here. Let's see, he's keeping that ERS as much as he can right now. I think he's keeping it for maybe a few laps in, if he's not able to get by lap 23 or 24. Let's see what's going to happen. But definitely pushing as much as he can. Let's have a look at penalties, what they are. So still a 3-second penalty for Clarky, 9 seconds still for Mr. Rage. Can he possibly get by and get a 9-second gap? Actually, he doesn't need to get a 9-second gap. He needs a 6-second gap away from Clarky to keep the race win at this point, and has the DRS advantage, using the overtake, trying to keep in the slipstream of Clarky if he can, having a bit of a go at it, but not catching up too much as you would expect here. But not too bad so far, getting quite interesting between this 3 tenths that gap is right now. Is closing by lap at this point here, and we definitely might see something happen close on to the end of the race. Going back down to Robbie here, chasing after the Red Bull of Beefy right now, they got up into 6th place, and he's actually done it. He's gotten up into 6th. Beefy's going to try to fight it back and go on board with him right now, see what's happening. We got those cars coming behind. A yellow flag in sector 3. I think someone's in the pits there right now. Scooby's out of the race. I think he's retired in the pits. I mean, that's going to be over, no issue on that. So Robbie's up into 6th finally, gets Beefy down to 7. 310 the gap is, so Beefy has a chance here still to get the position back. Of course, if he starts losing that gap, then he's not going to be able to get it back right away. DR's advantage might help him to get a bit closer, but let's see if that's going to work or not. Dan Murphy there getting very close after Mikey, 4 tenths behind. He's going to try to get that position if he can. Mr. Agent Clark keeping that gap out of 4 or 5 tenths between them. So getting quite interesting coming down to the end of this race. We got about 5.5 laps left to go at this point. Actually, about 5 laps left now. Let's see how the DRS zone works here, because Beefy is going to try to get a good run on Robbie and want to try to push it on the inside, but not able to, not close enough to get it done as yet. Maybe in the second DRS zone, let's see how that's going to work. But Beefy is going to push as hard as he can for this one. Mikey getting pretty close after Dan Murphy. He's down to 9th place on the grid right now. So not looking too well for Mikey there. So Scooby's going to fall down the order. And just noticing actually that we only have lost 1 driver in this race so far. That's Scooby there. And he's retired in the pits. If he didn't retire, we would still have all 20 drivers on the grid, which would have been quite interesting to have all 20 drivers finish this race. But still not a bad race so far, you got to say, with 19 drivers still in it. 5-10 gap still between Clark and Mr. Rage out front. Beefy now about 9 tenths behind Robbie. He's about 7 tenths behind Maddie right now. He's looking to get up in the 5th place in this race, which he definitely might, even with the penalty that he does have. Let's see if that's going to work out. Ethan now has a penalty as well. Sofdar running in 4th without any penalty, 3.9 seconds behind Ethan. We'll see if that works out. Coming down further down to the end of the race. We will bring penalties back online pretty soon to see what exactly has been happening here. But so far, and what's happening out front? Clarky has lost the lead to Mr. Rage. Somehow, I don't know if he made a mistake or not on this one here, but Clocky's lost the lead. He's down to second place in this race right now. Mr. Rage up into the lead. Somehow, I think Clocky might have made a mistake, because he was about 4/10 ahead. Had to possibly make a mistake to get that done. And Scooby has retired due to his tire attempts. They're unfortunate. But does happen something. Let's have a look, see what's going to happen here. Clocky is desperately fighting to get back the lead of the race here right now. I think this is our possibly close. Oh no, Robbie has a closer gap to Maddie here, going side by side with the Ferrari right now. And interestingly enough, Robbie gets up into 5th place in the race. That's Maddie down to 6th now. Quite an interesting change up here. So Robbie's all the way up into P5. He's running pretty well in this race, I gotta say. I'm possibly looking at getting driver of the day as well. I'm not sure that's working out for him, but probably gonna be the situation there. Going back here with Clarky and Mr. Rage, still about 3/10 between them. Let's see what it's looking like for. Yep, there it is. So Robbie has gained 14 positions in this race so far. He's looking pretty good at getting driver of the day. We're keeping on with Mr. Rage and Clarky to see how that is gonna work out. Gaps as 1 penalties, 12 seconds as it is for Mr. Rage. So even if he finishes this race in P1, he's not going to be able to keep it either way. But let's see how that's going to go. Going to be quite interesting to see if he's actually able to finish the race in P1, because that 5:10 gap between him and Mr. Rage Clarky and Mr. Rage right now is something to really just focus on and see what's going to happen down to the end. Because if Mr. Rage makes any sort of mistake, Clarky is going to be able to get back the lead. He's going to finish P1 either way in the race, but let's see how that's going to work out. So far, so good. It has been quite interesting. And there we go. Side by side they go here right now. And unfortunately, Clarky was not able to take back the lead as yet. So Mr. Ray still holds on to that 2:10 gap between them. And it's going to be quite interesting going down to end. We got Murphy and Beefy getting a pretty close gap down there for 7th place in the race right now. We have to keep an eye and see how that's going on through. Clarky pushing on through, trying to push for the inside, but not enough room actually to just push it on through. Wasn't able to actually do that as yet. He should get a pretty good run with the DRS advantage coming down the pit straight here. Let's see how that's going to work out for him. But he's still been running pretty well in the race, putting the penalties aside. And we got about 3 laps left to go here right now. DRS advantage coming online for Clarky here right now. Let's see how that's going to work. He might use a bit of overtake as well. Not using it actually, just using the DRS advantage. And Mr. Rage has a pretty good pace getting down that pit straight. So they keep their positions as it is there right now. And they're going to continue on with that. 3/10 the gap is. I don't think that's going to go anywhere pretty soon. Let's have a look at Beefy here. Having a pretty good run on Maddie getting down the pit straight. And they're trying to go side by side. He's going to try to push it on the inside. Will he get able to get it done? Looks like he might. And they're still going side by side for this. Oh, and Beefy runs wide. And looks like Murphy gets ahead of him as well. Oh, actually, it is quite a bit of a switch. So Murphy gets ahead into 6th. Beefy keeps 7th. And Maddie is now down by 2 positions into 8th in the race right now. So a bit of a switch up happening in the midfield. Not too bad with the switch. Murphy gets up into 6th with that overtake there. Beefy's going to chase after him right now. 2.5 laps left to go in this race. And Beefy gets up into 6th right now, ahead of the McLaren of Murphy. He's going to try and fight it back. Let's see if he is able to get it. We got Maddie coming, yes, behind that as well. Out in front, Clarky's about to get by Mr. Rage if he can. Let's have a look what's happening. And right up to the rear he goes, but not able to get by as yet, but a very close gap. And we're getting to right up to the end of this race. And we know Clarky's going to get the race win either way. We're going to have to keep penalties on in just a bit and see what's happening there. Nick and Vintage having a bit of a switch down in the back. Both AlphaTauris there. So 16 yeah between our race leaders, Mr. Rage and Clarky here at the moment, as we're in lap 26 right now and going through. So this race is going to come to an end pretty quickly. Beefy and Dan Murphy switching positions once again. We do have the Ferrari of Maddie just behind of them. That McLaren is looking to get by once again. Let's see if he's going to be able to get this done or not. It's a pretty good view angle from there. Got the Mercedes and Mikey come behind that about 8/10. Let's put penalties on, so have a look at that. Savda and Robbie switching positions now. So Robbie has actually gotten up into 4th position in this race and put Savda down into 5th there right now. Quite interesting of a race going on here. A lot of positions being gained by him here right now. He's all the way up into P4, so definitely deserves driver of the day at this point here right now. A few more laps in and he probably would have gotten up into P3 onto the podium here. But let's see, we can't put it past him as yet, because Mr. Rage has 12 seconds of penalties right now. And these guys have very close gaps between them. So let's see if that's going to work. Into the final lap, I think we're going here right now. Yes, we are. So lap 27 of the French Grand Prix right now. Mr. Rage leads this race going on through with 12 seconds of penalties. He will be able to get across the line P1, but Clarky will be able to take that away from him. Ethan is going to take 2nd. I'm not sure how far down Mr. Rage is going to go, but he is going to go quite a few positions down in this race. But still, a good job of him for still getting back the lead of the race. Of course, the penalties are going to really affect his race position here, getting down to the end now. So let's see how that's working out for him right now. So 2/10 now that gap is between them. Looks like Clark is going to try to get the position back on the very final lap. He goes alongside him and gets up that position. Very interestingly done from him. Clarky back into the lead of the race. Mr. Ray down back to 2nd place. And a 10-second gap to Ethan there in P3. So yep, it looks like he might be able to keep... let's see what position he's going to be able to keep, because... Ethan does have a 3-second penalty and a 10-second gap. That gives him about 13.1 seconds right now. And with Mr. Rage having 12 seconds of penalties, he will be able to keep 2nd place as it is there right now, if he does keep the gap as it is. So he needs to keep that gap as it is there right now in order to do that. Sofdar running P4. Once again, he's taking back the position from Robbie. Unfortunate for him. And we got these guys coming across for the final turn here right now, getting across the line here. So Clarky took back the lead on the final lap. He's about to get across the line, P1. I will take the win for the French Grand Prix. Not a bad finish for him here today. And that is Mr. Rage now coming across the line 2nd. Looks like he might be able to keep it, because Ethan coming across with 10-second gap and a 3-second penalty. He will be able to take P3 in the race and keep that on the podium with a 4-second gap to Safdar down behind. He's going to have to take that. Then Robbie finishes in P5 so far. Then we got BP coming around now. He's going to take 6th position. Dan Murphy takes 7. Mikey takes 8 as it is there right now. Maddie takes 9th currently. We got Danilo will take 10th. We got Nick here is going to take 11. Vintage will take 12. We'll just wait for the rest of the grid to come across the line here at the moment. So Leclerc already finishing 19. Scooby finishing 20 because he didn't get to finish the race. So Vintage finishes 12. We got Atronaut coming across right now. He's going to take 13th. Neil looks like he's going to finish right there in 14 because 18-second penalties, but of course the car behind of him has a 16.3-second gap and 3 seconds of penalty, so he will finish 14th on the grid and will be able to keep that. Codfish will have to take 15th as he gets across the line, with Vans Racing taking 16th, Red Devil taking 17th, and IG Studio taking 18th. Leclerc takes 19th on the grid. We'll still have a final look at the results before closing off the session here, so I think that's it. Why is Codfish taking so long to get across the line? I don't know what he's celebrating, getting 15th on the grid. Okay, so that is it there for the French Grand Prix, round 13 of 23 for PGL F1 Sunday division right now. And that is Robbie there taking driver of the day. Not a bad finish for him. So let's have a look at the results here before we close off this session this evening here right now. And that was actually an excellent race. So let's have a look at the race. So Clarky takes the win for the French Grand Prix there right now. Mr. Ray takes second place in that race on the podium. Ethan takes third place on the podium. Not a bad finish for the Alfa Romeo boys, finishing second and third. Savdar finishes fourth. We got Robbie finishing fifth. Beefy takes sixth. Dan Murphy takes seventh. Mikey takes eighth. Maddie takes ninth. Now we got Delolo taking 10th. Nick takes 11th. Vintage 12. Atronac 13. Neil there 14. Codfish 15. Vans Racing will take 16. Red Devil 17. IG2 takes 18. 19 goes for Leclerc. And we had 19 drivers actually finish this race. Scooby was the only driver not finishing the race. Had to retire because of tire temps, unfortunately. But still, a great race from the guys here for PGL F1 Sunday division. So excellent racing. Hope to see that every week here as we have it, and hopefully we can have all 20 drivers finish a race on the next race coming up for round 14. So thank you guys for everyone who has joined on to the session with us, and I really appreciate you guys joining on. Please make sure you guys leave a like on the video. Do appreciate that. So thank you guys for joining on. I'll see you guys on the next stream, which I'm not even sure when it's going to be as yet. A bit unsettled with the schedule as it is there right now, so we're kind of just working the best we can. So just keep an eye on the Discord. We'll probably post information about the next stream on there, guys. So thank you guys for joining on. Do leave a like on the stream, and I'll see you guys on the next stream. Enjoy that very much.